This week does look quieter and milder. Another look is coming up.
A new year means new adventures. Be ready for anything in a Ford SUV. Excitement awaits with big savings on a new Ford Explorer, Escape, or Bronco Sport. Go over any type of terrain with Ford's exclusive GOAT modes. Conquer every mile. Unleash your potential. Save like never before. Ford SUVs. Now you're ready for anything. Now get a Ford Escape with $4,000 total cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
You waited for it, so we made it worth the wait. The President's Day sale is going on now. A washer for $4.99, get the dryer half price. $7.49 buys the pair. LG Kitchen Bundle. Buy the stainless French door refrigerator and range. Get the matching dishwasher and microwave free. Over $2,500 in savings. Plus, get up to 3 years special financing with no money down. During our President's Day sale at Big Sandy's Superstore.
Arc Cincinnati, coming up next on Star 64. Steve Wilkos, today at 4 on Star 64.
Good morning. It is Monday, and I am Jen Dalton.
And I am Bob Herzog. What do Cincinnatians love more than chili? Perhaps nothing. Arguing about who serves it? Maybe. We get your chili history and some hot takes on chili just ahead.
Everybody's got a chili opinion around here.
We got chili takes, baby.
Yep. Also, we take a peek behind the curtain. We are going to talk about some of the top shows coming to Cincinnati and the area, so you can get your tickets first.
But first, let's see what's brewing in the Tri-State. The Reds will hope for a win today after losing a couple, 2 of 3, in fact, to open Cactus League play. But hey, it's preseason, it's spring training, it's all that kind of stuff. So let's instead focus on this fella for a second and what he did. Talking about Elly De La Cruz, hit 2 bombs, 2 home runs, 1 from the right side, 1 from the left side, because why not? As the team beat Cleveland during split squad action over the weekend, the Reds stay together, all together. One great big team to play the Dodgers today at 3:05. We are just 31 days away from Reds opening day against the Giants.
Wasn't it his first at-bat, too?
I believe so. Yes.
Knocked it out of the park. Okay, you keep going.
It's right there.
You were
31 days.
Yeah.
Well, it's, we get so excited when we see the countdown clock.
I know. I was distracted by the countdown.
There is nothing like a countdown clock.
Look how it flips like that.
It does.
It's called Marquee.
Marquee.
Remember, did you used to have an alarm clock that counted down like that?
Oh, with the special,
yeah.
Like the flipping, actual flip.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so exciting.
I just loved seeing the headline, frankly, over the weekend about Elly De La Cruz hitting a couple of home runs. Like, I'm ready.
Okay.
I am ready for it. And if you missed Terry Francona talking about, so they had the split squad.
Okay, I did miss this because I don't know what you're going to say.
So, and there's a word that he said that I can't say on television, which frankly makes it better.
Right.
But he was talking about the fact that split squad, so he could have stayed with the team that was playing at the Reds facility because they were playing Cleveland, which was his old team, of course, before he retired, had some health stuff going on and all that before he came back to manage the Reds. And people said, well, why did you go with the other half of the team instead of staying with the team playing at the Reds facility with your old team coming in? You could have seen some of the guys, that you used to manage. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing here big time, but he said something along the lines of, this part of the season is about focusing on the players and their goals and getting them ready for the season. It's not about a hug fest right now.
Yeah, baby, that's what we want.
And at this point, I'm the manager of the Cincinnati blanking Reds.
Yes.
Let's flip and go, man.
You don't live in Cleveland.
Oh, it was.
You live in Cincinnati. I know different sport, but the quote still applies.
He probably didn't mean it as impactful as it was, but when he said it, I was like,
you're like, let's go,
Let's go, Tito. Let's go, Tito.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I like that little anecdote.
Okay. Well, FC Cincinnati, onto another fantastic sport, has a very quick turnaround after a freezing win in their first regular season. Okay, the Orange and Blue host Motagua on Wednesday to finish up round 1 of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Kevin Denke notched the lone goal for the Orange and Blue Saturday against New York. Kickoff in the match against Motagua is set for 6:30 Wednesday night at TQL Stadium. According to Terrablake's forecast, it will be nearly 60. There's a slight chance of, rain. Nothing as cold, though, as Saturday's temperature of 30 degrees at kickoff this past Saturday. So, they got a nice win.
They did.
It's good to see Kevin Denke.
And to have
play?
So yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did. To have so little time off between the CONCACAF game and then the MLS regular season game, then right back into another CONCACAF game. I mean, that's 3 games within about a 7 or 8 day span. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. So we'll see how things go on Wednesday. But my son was there for the MLS regular season, and he said it was great. He said offensively, he said they looked much more in sync than they did last season. For what that's worth, that's what my son says. And so what Danny says tends to be true.
Does he sit in the Bailey?
He does.
He's one of those people that never stops.
He doesn't sit, but yes,
he stands in the Bailey.
He is in the Bailey, going crazy with everybody else.
This morning, I liked driving down 75. They had the Cincinnati sign lit up in orange and blue.
Nice. Oh, good.
And then the Fifth Third building, I believe it was orange and blue too. So it was just nice to see.
The season is here, man. Once they start playing, it's just go, which is fun.
They have a long season too.
They do.
Okay, go FC. We like this.
Oh,
Bachfest is almost here. So what is Bachfest? The German-style beer fest. It's meant to ring in the arrival of spring. And part of the celebration is very Cincinnati.
Yes.
And it includes the naming of a sausage queen.
God bless her.
Who will lead the Bachfest parade the following year. And this morning, we are one step closer to finding the new sausage queen. I love her necklace there, her rope.
Is she wearing her own rope sausage scarf?
Is. Yep, pretty good. The 5th and final preliminary round was held last night at Voodoo Brewing. Contestants were judged based on their personality, talent, and flair.
Gotta have flair.
Last night's winner will get a chance to be named Sausage Queen on March 8th. The reigning Sausage Queen will lead this year's parade March 7th, and later this week there will be a participation retaliation. The annual event culminates in a burning of a snowman effigy in hopes of keeping snow away from Bachfest. Precipitation retaliation happy hour is this Friday at the Northern Row Brewery and Distillery in Over the Rhine.
We are a bunch of glorious freak shows.
We are.
You know what I mean? And we just lean
embrace
in,
it.
and it's great. I just think it's great.
Yeah, you got Portland,
right?
And then you got us.
Yeah, I mean we got some. And it's funny because this town
weird here.
is,
and I mean that in the best way.
Historically, a pretty conservative town. It really is. But we have our moments.
We do.
And by golly, we
Sausage
go all
Queen
in.
is one of them.
It sure is, Jen.
I don't think here that they would let me run for Sausage Queen, but let me just say, one day, I might aspire to that.
I am right now weighing whether it is in my best interest to comment on what you've just said. And I have decided that I probably shouldn't.
Okay.
For the same reason that it would worry you about running for that position right now, I worry about anything that I might say could equally cause problems in my career.
All right.
Let there be light. This weekend was the first time in 2025 that the amount of daylight surpassed 11 hours. This evening, the sun will not set until 6:26.
What's that thing right there?
That mighty orb is known as the sun. Daylight increases a few minutes a day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
With earlier sunrises and later sunsets over the next several months. By the time we get to daylight saving time on March 9th, there will be close to 12 hours of daylight. Now, this may seem trivial, but multiple studies have shown more exposure to daylight can improve mood and mental health. According to some estimates, around 10 million people suffer from so-called seasonal affective disorder. Dr. Mikhail Boutry, Mercy Health, Kenwood, anxiety, feeling, disinterest, unmotivation, sadness without a reason, no appetite, being tired can all be signs.
In that setting where there's really no other cause as to why you're having these symptoms, then it's important to rule out other things to make sure that it's not because you're not getting enough of this nutrient. It's not because your kidneys are being affected. It's not because of your blood pressure, but truly just because of the seasons changing.
Dr. Michael, I think I said Mikhail. Clearly you were, Michael. Regardless, my apologies. And regardless, I agree with there's something about sunshine. It can be even very cold weather, but if the sun is at least shining, it does something, man.
Well, I mean, and you said so-called. It's not so-called. It is seasonal affective disorder is a thing, and I definitely suffer. And that's what it makes me want to do. Bob's over here kicking this. Just makes me want to kick the thing over here. But no, I definitely suffer from that. And I've been struggling these past couple weeks. I'll be honest. Like, it's been hard. Sometimes you just...
The sun helps.
Yeah.
It does something.
It does something. And when it starts to warm up a little bit.
Is that the Teletubbies sun? Like, if there was a baby's face in the middle of that, right?
That I don't know, but all those beautiful pictures we saw or from our Chime In. So if you take gorgeous pictures like that, send them to local12.com/chime in.
What was that one dude's name?
Clouds are moving too.
Tinky Winky? Tinky Winky and Poe? Was it Poe and Tinky Winky?
I don't remember.
What are the other guys' names?
I don't know.
Anybody remember Tinky Winky Poe?
Teletubbies, you said?
La
Okay.
was one of them.
Thank you for sharing that. Take us down memory lane there.
Happy to do so.
Okay. Time now, 8:09. Our Local 12 cameras were at a heartwarming reunion this weekend.
Without him, I probably wouldn't be here.
We hear this man's important warning on why you should be taking care of your heart. Next on ARC Cincinnati at 8.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, but that describes my teenage years perfectly.
Person, place, or thing. Today at 5 on Star 64.
When it comes to the feud,
if you built a love shack, what would you be sure to have in it?
you either nail it
I bet.
or fail it.
A big chicken. Kitchen.
You're gonna have a big chicken in there.
Family Feud.
Tonight starting at 5:30 on Star 64.
Are you okay? I heard about the accident. You want me to call your mom? Good job getting some nurses right away. I'll tell you, Coach, you won't be going to practice today. You want a popsicle? Popsicles always help. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything.
To be a good lawyer, you have to care about people and love what you do, because nobody loves a lawyer until they need one. If you've been injured, call Young, Reverman, and Bolton. Experience matters.
I love my lawyer.
Open the door to a new career opportunity with PDQ Doors. Apply today at mypdqdoor.com. PDQ Doors is the leading garage door company in the area and offers incredible benefits with competitive pay. Apply today, mypdqdoor.com.
Attention viewers of the CW Cincinnati. Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teachings of Pastor Jennings as he speaks the truth from God's Holy Bible. Watch The Truth of God Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. exclusively on the CW Cincinnati. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 on the TOG.TV.
This is the Big Bang. Big Bang.
With True Green, we got a great price on a golf course quality lawn,
which attracted golfers.
Morning.
Who needs a warm-up?
PGA Tour quality lawns for as little as $1 a day.
Good morning. We take another nice look outside this morning. The sky has been really pretty. Not seeing as many gorgeous colors as we did earlier, but still nice temperatures that we're getting up to today into the 40s and 50s this week. And then by the weekend, I think we said we're getting close to 60 for that FC game, or by the end of the week, I should say, for that game. So we are looking good to start the week. Maybe a little more of that sun that we need. Well, February is also Heart Month, and Mercy Health celebrated 9 patients who almost didn't make it.
Local 12's Tyler Madden was at TQL Stadium, where those folks were reunited with the ones responsible for saving their lives.
The room was all smiles at Mercy Health's Heart Recovery reunion.
Without him, I probably wouldn't be here.
Dr. Chris Mahita met Monticello Benjamin when he was at his worst.
When I first had the PE, the pulmonary embolism, I didn't know what it was.
That led to countless procedures trying to relieve the pressure on Benjamin's heart.
I don't know that he realized how sick he was, to be honest. His heart was essentially failing.
During his time in the hospital, Dr. Mahita was a constant presence.
It was a very trying time in my life, but the 2 weeks that I was there, I got excellent care from the Mercy Hospital.
A temporary pump was installed to help Benjamin's heart recover. A year later, he's on the road to recovery.
Every time I see Dr. Mahita, I said thank you. He knows how much I love him.
I was
at a restaurant one Sunday afternoon, and we were there for about 30 minutes, and my chest just started hurting.
Jacob Young's wife, Erin, who's a nurse, took him right to the hospital.
About 5-7 minutes after we got in our room, I ended up coding, and they had to do CPR on me and shock me once.
Dr. Adam Raskin put an implant in to help his heart pump and give it a break.
His heart literally stopped, and everyone that took care of him is able to come here and be able to see that, hey, he's back living his life, hopefully on the road to a full recovery.
It's emotional. It is a connection that you can't even imagine.
This is the first time that doctors and nurses in Mercy Health have come together to celebrate these recovery stories.
Physically, I feel normal, like I did before this happened.
Everyone's sharing a lot of laughs.
So great. Hopefully to them I look a little bit better than I did when they first met me.
And a lot of thank yous.
Thank you. That's the main thing, that their care for me was awesome.
It's good to take that step back and then actually just see how well your patients are doing. It makes it why we do what we do.
In the West End, Tyler Madden, Local 12 News.
How about that? The patients stressed how important it is to see your doctor if something feels off, because you never know what it might be. It has to be humbling, I would think, to come face to face with the person / the people who are literally responsible for you still being on this earth.
Well, and in an environment where you're both on the same level at some point. You know what I mean? Instead of you're being
not in the hospital.
In a very vulnerable state.
Sure.
And sometimes not being able to maybe even, I don't know what kind of state he was in at times. Sometimes if you're in the hospital, you're vulnerable, and who knows if you're
barely
even
conscious maybe.
Or,
sure.
And so to be on a place where you can share some food and be able to just talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a gift,
and a really
and it
important
sounds like it's a
reminder
gift
for
for
everybody.
both.
Yeah. And for others, those of us just hearing now, hey, something doesn't feel right. You're off.
Yeah.
Like when you're off. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're off, and have somebody who knows what they're talking about give you a look-see, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, speaking of heart health, there is still time to sign up for the Heart Mini Marathon and Walk. The annual event held by the American Heart Association is less than 3 weeks away on March 16th. The walk and run starts downtown at the corner of 5th and Lawrence Streets. Walkers and runners have already been hard at work fundraising. So far, they've raised around $2.3 million.
Goo.
This money will be used to pay for life-saving cardiovascular research and education. Again, the Heart Mini is on Sunday, March 16th, with the first race is starting at 7:30.
It's a great event, great race.
That's incredible. They've already raised that much.
That's a lot of, I would imagine, corporate sponsors diving in there to contribute, corporate teams, that kind of thing, which makes that total very impressive, a very impressive number. And it's a well-done event. A lot of people who are training for the Pig Half or the Pig Full Marathon will sort of use that as part of their training as well. So it's always a great turnout.
Yeah.
Always a great turnout.
I hope the weather is good for them.
Yeah.
And when we said March 16th is 3 weeks away, that just seems
wild that when Aaliyah said this is the last Monday in February, that had not occurred to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Because February has seemed long and short at the same time.
February has been the longest year.
Yeah. It has. It's been very long. Yeah, I got you. All right, time now is 8:17. Are you ready for a night at the theater? We are going to break down some of the big shows opening on stages around town next on ARC Cincinnati at 8.
We've always said never sell a house in the winter. Well, that's not exactly true. With Open Door, you can skip the showings and get a real cash offer. And if you close before the holidays, you don't have to move till after New Year's. You are disguising my voice here, right?
Of course. Whew. Just checking. Like I was saying.
It's true. Open Door makes selling easy in any season.
From all over the world, people turn to Cleveland Clinic for our expertise and our compassionate care. As leader in heart, neurology, and cancer, the future of specialty care is happening right now at Cleveland Clinic. For every life-saving treatment, for every care in the world. For appointments and second opinions, call 833-523-CARE.
If you haven't called Senior Life Insurance Company for your free quote, you're probably paying too much. Senior Life was able to get this 65-year-old woman a $10,000 immediate benefit whole life plan for under $41 a month. She saved over $450 a year by choosing Senior Life. Some competitors cost twice as much. This 65-year-old man was paying almost $110 a month before he called Senior Life. We were able to cut his rate to $52, saving him almost $700 a year. These low rates are locked in, and so is the coverage amount. Hundreds of thousands of seniors have taken advantage of our low-cost plans built with seniors' budgets in mind. We saved this couple almost $1,400 a year with more coverage compared to what they were paying. Call now to find out if Senior Life Insurance Company can cut your rate in half. The quote is absolutely free. Switch to Senior Life and stop paying too much. Call now.
All right, it is time to talk about the theater. You can find a little bit of everything when it comes to live performances this week.
Yeah, here are just a few of the shows and the concerts hitting stages around town. Oh, it's Shakespeare's. Why did we both?
Because it's the thing where you hold the
Shakespeare's Scottish play, Macbeth. Cincinnati Shakespeare Company is putting the final touches on their interpretation of a literary classic. In this production, the show is set in the early days of the Cold War with paranoia and tension at an all-time high. The show opens on Friday, runs through March 23rd. Later this week, we'll have some of the cast here on ARC to talk about this Shakespeare reimagining. And the fact that they put that kind of twist on it, I think is pretty fascinating. Yeah. And they always do. You know, they always find a place to set things that is a little off from what you would typically think of as Shakespearean. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that I believe makes Cincinnati Shakespeare so special.
Absolutely, is they're always looking for new and innovative ways to tell the stories.
Yep. And they'll take something written way back then, put it in an even different era, and yet still somehow tie it to now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty cool.
It is.
Well, there is a new production opening at the Playhouse in the Park. English is a Pulitzer Prize play opening at the Playhouse later this week. The show is set in 2008 Iran as a group of adults gather in a classroom to learn English. Variety described the script as, quote, undeniably one of the best plays of the decade, and we know the folks at the Playhouse will do a great job with this one. The curtain opens on English this Saturday, and it will be on stage at the Playhouse through March 30th. Looks like a great show.
I say anything at the Playhouse, you know, is going to be fantastically well done. So I'm sure that'll be great. And we expect great things at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. I didn't know about this thing. No, this is a new one on me.
This sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's being described as what, like Blue Man Group meets something else absolutely fabulous. Picasso, how about that? Picasso meets Blue Man Group. The Fairfield Community Arts Center is hosting Artrageous. It's a mix of live art, music, dancing, comedy. The show starts at 7, but guests will want to get there early. The first 100 people to enter the theater will receive an adventure kit, which will give them everything they need to participate in the show. Tickets are $34 for adults. Look at that. That looks funky and fun.
Really neat.
And I'm a big fan of anything with glow sticks. Let me just say it. If you got a glow stick going on, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
No, it reminds Pam Kravitz. Why when I look at that do I think immediately
Pam should be involved.
Pam, if you're watching right now, I want to know if you're involved because it seems like you should be.
And if you're not, can you come create one for us? We do something like that one day. Yeah. Well, how about some country music? Cincinnati native and country musician Noah Smith is headlining a concert in Lawrenceburg this Friday. The show is at the Liberty Theater. Doors open at 7. You'll want to keep in mind that this is an 18 and up show. Opening acts are Aaron Hedrick and Josh Ferreria.
Noah's always great when he comes to the station. I don't know if we're going to have him in at all this week or not, but he tends to be fantastic. So go see that show if you like a little country music. And how about a show featuring one of the best vocalists in the tri-state, local jazz legend Mandy Gaines. will be performing this Thursday at Cafe Vivante. Mandy's set starts at 7 p.m. and you'll hear her takes on the great American songbook. She'll be accompanied by pianist Steve Schmidt. Mandy has visited us many times as well and is just outstanding.
Mandy's great. Steve Schmidt is fantastic.
A lot of talent on stages in town this week.
Before we move on, can I say,
what?
Speaking of talent on stages, I took my son to see Bob yesterday in The Cat in the Hat.
Yes.
We had a wonderful time. You were awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. We've got 2 school shows today, and then that'll be a wrap on that performance. So
Bob's told my son that he slipped a word in there for him that he would know, and my son was very happy.
It tends to be a hit with the 12 and under set. If you say,
can I say the word?
Please.
It was skibbity, because our producer asked if that's what it was.
If you say skibbity,
but
the kids will be pleased.
I appreciated the adult humor that you threw in there. By adult humor, I mean
nothing like,
yeah. But the lines out of Happy Gilmore that you threw in.
There are certain things that
I'm
are for 12 and under.
Those were not written in the Dr. Seuss.
No, that was Bob material that was added to some blank spaces.
I laughed. I went, at one point, I'm like, oh God.
Was that you?
Yeah,
I thought that cut through at one point. It is 8, almost 25. It is Cincinnati Chili Week. And just ahead, we'll talk about the history of Cincinnati's chili parlors. Here are your hot chili takes. We got to talk Cincinnati chili after the break.
At Brakes for Less, you get more for less. How much more? New brake pads on all 4 wheels, resurfaced rotors, a brake fluid top-off, plus a parts and labor warranty, all for as low as $239. Our expert technicians do thousands of brake jobs a week and provide prompt, speedy service. Hurry, schedule your free brake inspection today. Less waiting, less stress, less cost. Brakes for Less gives you more for less.
Tired of your old kitchen cabinets? Joyful Cabinet Painting can bring back joy to the heart of your home. Right now, get 0% down, 0% interest for 12 months, or free decorative hardware up to $500. Elevate your everyday spaces with Joyful Cabinet Painting.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
A better way to watch whatever you want to watch.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
If you're a Warren County veteran who needs help obtaining VA benefits, transportation to medical appointments, or emergency financial assistance, Warren County Veteran Services is here to serve you. Look out for our new outreach vehicle traveling throughout Warren County and learn more about how Warren County Veteran Services Office can help veterans and their families while also providing a direct link to local, state, and federal veterans benefits. We're veterans helping veterans. To learn more, call Warren County Veteran Services Office at 513-695-2717.
We have to fight, and this is how we do it. We have made a mine detection robot. What do you want?
This year's Cincinnati Auto Expo is on the go. March 1st through the 9th will be your chance to test drive a new car. You simply log on to the website on your screen to see the participating tri-state dealers near you. See a vehicle that catches your eye, schedule a test drive. It's Cincinnati Auto Expo on the go.
Somebody has to stand up for victims.
I promise you, I'll protect you.
Law and Order SVU.
Tonight at 8.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Jen Dalton.
And I'm Bob Herzog. We're glad you're here with us on ARC Cincinnati because I did the thing again where I missed the arm thing. I don't know. I don't know if this is a narrower than usual armrest. Anyway, it's Cincinnati Chili Week. Outside of the tri-state, Cincinnati chili can cause quite a bit of controversy.
It can. It can stir emotions up. In our region, chili may as well be its own food group. But how much do you know about the history of Cincinnati's signature dish? Well, there is some debate over the origins of Cincinnati chili, but it appears to Empress Chili that they can lay the claim to the first chili parlor. Empress was founded in 1922 by brothers Tom and John Kurtajeff. Macedonian immigrants. They were serving up chili in a small shop next to the Empress Theater downtown. Cincinnati chili has historical connections to a Greek dish called pastiso, which is a traditional layered dish similar to a lasagna. Layers include pasta, cheese, and a meat sauce flavored with cinnamon, allspice, and cloves. So there's your differentiation from the lasagna, which doesn't.
I was not
the,
familiar with that particular dish.
Nah.
I knew of the sort of Greek ancestry of Cincinnati chili, but I did not know of that lasagna related thing. What
I'd
is
like to try that.
Pastizo? Is that what
we apologize to all the Greeks out there for saying it wrong.
I don't. My buddy Mike Lambrinides is going to call me in just a moment and let me know that I didn't say that correct. But the cinnamon I knew, and that tends to be like the jumping off point for a lot of people when they get the cinnamon.
And the sort of sauciness of it versus like a Texas style chili.
Correct, with like a heartier,
a meatier, like a heartier. When some people see our chili before even trying it.
Yes. Here's what I do.
Okay.
For people who aren't from here, I tell them immediately, don't think of it as chili.
Yeah.
Think of it as sauce.
Yeah.
Think of it as a sauce.
And they often refer to it.
And sometimes that'll help.
At some of the traditional places like that.
Sauce. Tell them it's a sauce. Yeah. We know it's chili. Just tell them it's a sauce.
Well, more than a dozen restaurants are going to be participating in Cincinnati Chili Week, and you can find all the deals this week at your favorite chili spot.
And this morning, Local 12's Chloe Markley takes us to one of those restaurants.
Hey, well, I know a lot of us, our favorite chili spot is Camp Washington Chili. They've been serving up chili since 1940, their 85th anniversary. I'm here with Maria, third generation owner. I love it here. It already smells amazing. And when chili smells good at 6 a.m., you know it's good. Talk to us about this 513 melt a lot of people love.
So we're introducing a new item for Chili Week. It's our 513 melt, which is our chili melt, always on the menu. But now we're sneaking in a slab of Gouda. So we're going to get this together, and people do order this all the time, the chili melt. Put the Gouda on here.
Looks good. We love our Gouda in Cincinnati.
So now we're going to go over and top it with some chili.
Yum. And then is this a deal for Chili Week? What's the pricing?
Yes, this is $7.75.
Okay.
Normally it would be $8.50, but we're bringing it a special feature this week.
It looks good. And people can't get this anywhere else.
No, you can only get this any time of day, really, like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can get this dish.
Perfect, because you guys are open 24 hours.
Yes.
That's also unique. Okay, that looks delicious. Any more deals going on?
Yes, so we have 2 cheese conies and a medium drink for $6. Any regular size 3-way, 4-way, or 5-way for $7. And then we just have this little special feature that we're adding for $7.75. So
great, a lot of good deals.
Yes.
All right, so like I mentioned before, third generation. What makes your business so special? Besides, I mean, it's a family business. We gotta love that. Love supporting you guys.
Well, we've been around for 85 years, so I think that makes us special. We're the oldest chili parlor in Cincinnati, and I don't know, I feel like we've been a part of the community for so many decades. It's nice to see the older generation coming, bringing their great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and reminiscing about the old days at Camp Washington.
I love that. A lot of history here.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Maria. Maria's going to be staying with us, telling us even more, maybe taking us back there to look at all that chili. But remember, Camp Washington Chili is open 24 hours, and then Chili Week is happening until this Sunday, March 2nd. For now, back to you.
Okay, two things immediately. First of all, the special that they had there, 2 o'clock in the morning is the ideal time to eat that dish. You know what I mean? 2 o'clock in the morning, probably you've been out doing some stuff and you need something. You need something hearty to soak some business. That is the thing. The other thing that is so fun about what just happened there, Camp Washington just claimed to be the oldest chili parlor when we, literally less than 3 minutes ago, said that Empress makes that very same claim.
And then there'd probably be another one that
Somebody
says
else.
the same thing. They all do it, yeah.
Yeah, everyone is staking their claim to that.
Or they're maybe very specific, like, this one is the oldest chili parlor
that
on the west side
this,
in the street of this.
Yes.
And then this one is the oldest to have the
I love
thing
it.
with the stuff.
I love all of it. And we have a link, by the way, to the Cincinnati Chili Week app at local12.com inside that story. But let's get more of your chili hot takes. We asked you on the social media, like we do, to share your thoughts on chili and who serves it best. Off we go.
All right, Karen says blue ash chili. My husband and I split the 3-way double-decker with fries.
All
Yum.
right. David says there's Camp Washington right there is my number one, followed by blue ash chili, a close second.
Michael says the Dayton Chili Parlor, RIP, so that one must be gone.
Oh, all right. Susie says we did this for sure. We ate it with Cheez-Its. We ate Cincinnati chili with Cheez-Its. No one appreciates the sketty vibe this far south. Now, I don't know where Susie is, but Susie, wherever you are, spreading the love for Cincinnati chili, we appreciate your dedication to the cause.
Do they just eat the Cheez-Its like on the
I don't
side,
know.
or do they like
I don't know.
crush up the Cheez-Its and then put them on top of the chili, almost like an oyster cracker?
I like that idea. How could that be bad?
We have taught my son will still not eat the chili, but it's not because of the chili. It's just he just is in a phase where he's not eating very much at all.
Understood.
But we were at Skyline yesterday, and he was having instead of a whole coney, he just gets the hot dog with the cheese on top.
Sure.
But we've taught him how to do the
Wiener bun.
cracker bomb.
Cracker bomb. Gotta have cracker bomb.
So you got to have the cracker bomb where you take the oyster cracker, put a hole in it, and then you put your hot sauce in it.
Yep. So off you go.
There you go.
Another Cincinnati special.
Yep.
It is. It's pushing 8:35 now. From sea to shining sea, we get an early look at a new nature series, voiced by actor Tom Hanks. That is next on Cinema 64. Stay with us.
What's Howard's secret weapon?
Ooh, look, a new Batman belt buckle.
The Big Bang Theory.
Tonight is 7 on Star 64.
On the next, young Sheldon. Sheldon makes plans for a spring break.
So you want me to ride on a bus for hours with a bunch of kids to a comic book convention?
It's mostly adults. Many are in costume.
If he could just hitch a ride.
Will there be girls there?
The next, young Sheldon.
Tonight at 7:30.
You waited for it, so we made it worth the wait. The President's Day sale is going on now at Big Sandy. Save up to $900 on premium adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get $300 in free gifts. Serta King mattress for the Queen price. Plus free power base upgrade starting at $899. And up to 5 years interest free. Doorbuster Sealy Posturepedic Queen mattress. Just $499 during our President's Day sale at Big Sandy Superstore.
Garage door problems?
Our door's open.
Door not budging?
Our door's open. Oh yeah, our door's closed too.
A quality garage door and dependable service is more important than you think. Call 513-PDQ-DOOR.
Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer.
Ooh, I won again. What are the odds? Hey, double or nothing?
Why take a chance with a trade-in? Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. Get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price.
Nice.
Don't gamble with dealers. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
The Panera You Pick 2 you've always loved now has a price you'll love even more. Starting at $8.98, mix 2 Panera faves to craft the perfect meal just for you. Whether it's a soup and salad or sandwich and mac, the choice is all yours. Panera's You Pick 2, endless combinations now starting at $8.98.
That music gets me fired up, and so does this. It was Marvel versus the Monkey at the weekend box office.
Okay.
Neza 2 stayed in 5th place, while Dog Man dug up $5.9 million for a 4th place finish. And then you've got Paddington in Peru falling to 3rd place in its sophomore weekend. But the Monkey debuted in 2nd place, scaring up $14.2 million. But of course, Captain America, Brave New World, took in $28.2 more million, a 68% drop from its debut, but enough to keep the box office crown.
Can I give you a Marvel movie lament for a moment?
The fact that you haven't seen it yet?
Correct. I was texting with my son, and I said, do you know how sort of depressing it is that a Marvel movie, a major sort of tentpole Marvel movie opened, and I didn't see it on opening weekend? Like that was simply did not happen. But since going all the way back to Avengers Endgame, there has just been this sort of this drop in my interest level, and I gotta turn it around, Jen. I gotta turn it around. I gotta turn my life around. I gotta get it together. Yeah, Haven't seen it. Still have not seen a Captain
I'm
America
see
movie.
it today just so I can see it before you have.
Please, you know what? I hope you do. I hope you do.
No, I'm not.
And then hold it over my head.
But I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's very few things I can hold over his head. And if that's one of that and roller skating. That's it. I can roller skate. He can't.
You have no idea how it drives me crazy. I can't roller skate.
But that's the only thing that he can do better.
My heart hurt.
Or can't do. I can do better than him. It's the only.
What was that song? Why did I just think of a song? Oh, anything I can do, you can do better.
Yeah.
I can do anything better than you. Yeah. The Emmy-winning wildlife filmmaker behind Planet Earth 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's not it. The Green Planet and Other series is back with an epic look at a supercontinent. Here is a closer look at the Americas.
This is the Americas, an extraordinary journey across Earth's great supercontinent.
Tom Hanks narrates The Americas, 10 episodes filmed by 180 expeditions over 5 years.
To find a mate, he sets out on an extraordinary journey that has never been filmed before.
As a wildlife filmmaker, you're always looking to try and do new things. And it gets harder and harder and harder and harder to find things that other people haven't done.
The series from executive producer Mike Gunton spans the supercontinent from the Arctic to the tip of South America.
Where are the 10 ultimate locations that have a signature, a personality, but also have a unique biological footprint, if you like?
There's no CGI in this at all. Nothing is made up.
They go, oh, I know that. I've heard of that. But what we're going to say is, yes, but come here and see something you didn't know about this place.
You will find things you did not know exist beneath places that you have walked.
Audiences want to see new things. But that can mean both a new animal that they haven't seen perhaps, or a new piece of behavior, or seeing how animals live their lives from a different perspective in a new way.
What happens next has never been filmed before. The group begins racing.
When I started nearly 40 years ago, any one of these shots would have been the best thing in the entire series. You know, it's just incredible.
The Americas is up close. It is shocking. And it's beautiful.
Wow, it does look stunning. I love these that give us looks that you have not seen before.
Yeah. It's as amazing a performer as Tom Hanks is. He is actually the least interesting part of what we're going to see and hear in that series. I just can't imagine being the people who film these things and must wait in what are sometimes less than comfortable positions to capture those kinds of moments. I mean, you're there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to catch certain moments.
Where did we say that we can see it?
The Americas is on
Is it theaters? Is it IMAX? Is it, are we streaming
service
Americas
known as Peacock. Good.
Okay.
I wonder if there are any peacocks in it.
That would be nice.
Because they do fairly fascinating things. Do they not?
They do.
They are also
They're
peahens.
There are?
Yeah.
Is that the female version?
It is.
Didn't know. Makes complete sense.
Right?
Thank you.
And the peacocks are the showy ones.
Okay.
Like, hey, ladies, check me out.
Hence the term peacocking.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
See? Boom.
We
Nailed
worked
it.
so many things out in this past 30 seconds.
There we go.
Okay.
Nature. Love it.
Love it. A new batch of castaways, believe it or not, are going to be fighting to earn the title of Sole Survivor and a $1 million grand prize. Survivor is back for its 48th season. In the season premiere this week, we will meet the 18 new players. Jeff Probst has been hosting this reality competition for nearly 25 years. And he says this cast of castaways are hitting the ground running when it comes to the playing game.
We have some very big personalities this season. Survivor's ready. Go! Some of them come bursting out of the gate on day one. Attack it!
You're not going to tell me I can't or will not do something. It's going to make me want to do it more. I know I have the brains. I know I have the bronze. And I just want to go get after it.
We also have players who come into the game lacking confidence. Will something out there show them that they're as good as they thought they might be?
Well, you can catch the 2-hour season premiere of Survivor this Wednesday at 8 on Local 12. Outwit, outlast, outplay. Right?
25 years.
Yeah.
That is astounding
That is astounding.
to me. 25 years they've been doing Survivor.
Think of all the places that they've been to do that too.
And I always say this when we show a new Survivor season. If you go back to the first 3 or 4, they almost killed some folks.
It was
much cooler to watch.
That was back with Kentucky Joe.
I'm not kidding. There were people who looked like they were about to be starved to death.
Yeah, I know.
It was wild. I don't know why they don't still do it that way.
Because
I mean, obviously they're still doing just fine if they've been doing it for 25 years. But those first couple of seasons were nuts. Remember that?
I do, and maybe that's why I didn't watch it back then. And
man, I used to love it.
I watched it here and there.
Yeah.
We used to do casting calls here.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
You got to meet some folks.
I did.
I
I
know.
met some people that auditioned for that.
You did. Hey, after talking about it all last week, the debut is here. Beyond the Gates makes its debut today. CBS's new daytime soap opera focuses on the Dupree family, a powerful and prestigious multi-generational family. It's a joint project between CBS and the NAACP. Beyond the Gates is the first ever 1-hour black daytime soap opera and the first daytime drama to premiere in more than 25 years. And you can watch it right here on Local 12, weekdays at 2. You can also stream it on Paramount Plus. And let us not forget that Aaliyah's brother, Jabri, is on the show. He is on the show. He is a regular. He is a star.
He's a star.
I know.
I mean, it's
pretty
amazing.
cool.
I can't wait to see it and check it out. And she said, she knows the storyline for at least this first episode.
Yeah.
And that it is crazy. Like, it's going to go right shooting out of the gate. There's going to be some hot topics and things going on.
And if you missed any of the stories that Aaliyah did last week on the show, because she actually got to go down to the studios in Atlanta and shoot a few stories, got to sit down with her brother, which is really cool. All those are at local12.com.
And check them out because they're really neat, especially like seeing the ones where she went and talked not only to the cast, but the people who like do the hair and makeup and the costumes. And yeah, all kinds of great stories there. All right, these would be perfect for sending a letter to a pal and confidant. Get it? The U.S. Postal Service will soon honor a legendary entertainer, Betty White, with her own stamp. Betty White died, of course, more than 3 years ago, just shy of her 100th birthday. The Postal Service will release a stamp next month honoring the late actress and comedian. The stamp features Betty White in a purple polka-dotted blouse against a violet-colored background. Her name is printed in white text underneath her portrait, and Forever USA, of course, is printed below her name.
If you were going to throw a party and invite everyone you knew, you could send the invitations with those stamps.
Oh.
I
can't.
I know. No
sing
singing.
it.
No singing. Love me some Betty White, though.
I do too.
What a talent that lady was.
Are you
God
mad at
love her.
Tanner for stealing your line?
I'm just saying. The pal and a confidant, I used that in my post about the stamp story. And he pilfered it, and he made it his own. But that's okay. That's what we do here on Arc Cincinnati. We share. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. It was more than a treehouse. It was a neighborhood landmark. Rick Polizzi built this 24 years ago, almost as far back as the first Survivor. In Sherman Oaks, California, the former Simpsons producer replicated the treehouse after the show's Treehouse of Horrors. But now he is being forced to tear it down because it was deemed unsafe. That's what a treehouse is supposed to be. But
only when you build it,
kids and their parents loved playing in the house for years and said goodbye one last time yesterday.
Why couldn't they just?
Who deemed it unsafe?
Can they fix it up?
Who deemed it?
I think it should be a national landmark.
Did the government deem it? Deem it?
I don't know. At first, when we took the shot, I thought it was going to be the boat and the tree from Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah, that would be an entirely different situation.
I can't remember the name of the boat.
I don't know.
But anyway.
I don't like that sometimes. When somebody's built something in their backyard, and then somebody else who doesn't live at that place is like, meh.
Who deems it?
Well, meh. His yard, his treehouse.
Well, can we talk about the time you built the zip line in your backyard?
Okay.
And somebody should have deemed that something because...
The zip line itself, perfectly safe. Me and Adam Clements swinging on it at the same time, less safe.
Just want to say, we were there when that happened. We were at Bob's house.
It made a pretty horrifying noise when it broke.
We were scared.
Somebody
but anyway, you're
could
right.
have been
so
hurt
maybe
badly.
You deemed it safe for children, not
Correct.
two grown adult men to be zipping at the exact same time, holding onto each other.
That is correct. I held him so tight.
The Gilded Lady, by the way.
Yes.
Which, speaking of Step Brothers, reminds me.
Okay.
The Gilded Lady was the boat.
Like, why did we just go there?
From Step Brothers.
Yeah. Be careful with your zip lines. If you take nothing else away from today's episode, let it be that.
Yeah. Or don't let Bob build one in your backyard.
It'll be perfectly safe if used properly.
There we go. Rihanna fans have been waiting for a new music from her for nearly a decade, but they may not have to wait much longer. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar, Rihanna spoke at length about her next album, saying she just cracked the code on what I really want to do for my next body of work. And she acknowledges that she said similar things in the past when teasing her music, but says she wants to make sure her next album has been worth the wait. And while she stopped short of providing a time frame for when that might finally be, she did say it's not going to sound like anything anyone expects.
Okay.
New stuff, apparently.
Do your thing. I didn't realize it had been quite that long since she had made new music.
She's done a great job of staying in the public eye, doing all kinds of different things.
Sure.
Since then, yeah. So.
Super Bowl since then.
Yep.
Did she have nothing new when she did her Super Bowl performance?
I guess not.
That's sort of shocking.
That is
You know, because a lot of times those performers who are out there will have something that is fairly new.
Or go on tour, and I don't think she's done that either, has she?
She had a song in the movie Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
That would be the last single that she had, though. All right. Hey, it's 8:50. We will wrap things up, I think, with some space news and other things after the break. Stay with us.
Todd takes Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I served 3 overseas tours. I love to give back to the community. I saw a Prevagen commercial and I did some research on it. I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. I've told my coworkers and family since taking Prevagen how much of a difference it's made in my life. I feel really good.
Prevagen for your brain.
Ever feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. In a survey, 91% of users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Chronic migraine may still keep you from being there. Ask your doctor about Botox today. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
If you're at home right now and you're suffering from burning, tingling, or numb feet, you need to pay special attention to this next segment as we discuss neuropathy.
What is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is actually nerve damage to the feet and the legs primarily.
And what are the symptoms?
The major symptoms we see are numbness, burning, muscle cramps, problems with your balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It is absolutely treatable, and we can get some great results.
If you're experiencing burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or having balance issues, call today for your nerve damage screening. Your nerve damage screening will tell you if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our innovative treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe there is nothing that can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 25 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Act now and call to schedule your nerve damage screening. First 25 callers receive this screening for free.
Hey, we wrap up today with some space news.
Let's try that again.
We wrap up today with some
space news.
I felt that in my soul. Astronomers say they have spotted a dazzling light show from the Milky Way's black hole.
Take a look at these photos from the James Webb Space Telescope. Researchers say they saw a rapid-fire display that included short flashes and longer, blinding, bright flares of light on a daily basis. Scientists say while black holes are invisible, the flares spotted were unleashed by a swirling disk of hot gas and dust. Astronomers believe that the flares are coming from the inner edge of the disk just beyond the black hole's horizon. They say these observations could explain how black holes behave and the way that they feed on their surroundings.
For a second there, I didn't know if you were describing something that astronauts and astronomers came up with or gastroenterologists.
Could be one and the same.
The pictures are pretty cool looking, though, right?
I can't quite grasp what I'm looking at. I mean, I know that what we said, but it's still just beyond.
There were a lot of sciencey words.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with those pictures from the telescopes, you have to remember that they've talked about this.
Right.
There are different kinds of like rays and such that are not visible to our eye, and so they have to assign them a color in essence, so that we can get a feel for what we're looking at. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, an astronaut on board the International Space Station is showing curious viewers his ability to put his pants on 2 legs at a time. Most of us, 1 leg at a time. Not this guy. Look at that. Video posted to X shows NASA astronaut Don Pettit descending toward his trousers and hopping into them both legs at once. Well done,
That's pretty
spaceman.
fun. I like to see any of these videos from how they live up there and what they do. Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to just feel that sensation?
I would love to feel. Yes, I would love to try that, but to be up there and to be
in that cramped space.
Yeah.
You're out.
I'm out.
Okay.
For long periods of time. Yeah.
She's out.
I am. Would you?
If given the opportunity, I would go.
You would? If you're like, Bob, 90 days on the space station or wherever, you would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's space.
We tend to agree on a lot of things that we're
That's
out.
that's
not
not so much. Okay.
I mean, space is cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I would rather do this. Space Camp is not just for kids. This weekend, the Cincinnati Observatory is hosting an event for adults. Adults-only Space Camp is Saturday evening at the observatory. During the program, adults will get to take part in hands-on activities, crafts, and experiments. There will be snacks. Gotta have snacks at camp. Light refreshments, and tickets to Adult Space Camp are $30. You do not need to register in advance. Cincinnati Observatory, we have to do our question of the day, and I don't know if you have anything, but I have one.
Oh, I have one too, but what's yours?
No,
you can go.
You go first. Let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
What's the most Cincinnati thing?
Oh.
Okay. Which one do you want to go with? I was thinking because we did the Sausage Queen story in Cincinnati Chili Week, I was like, tell me your most Cincinnati thing. But what's yours?
No, I like yours. Mine was camp experiences that you've had. But I like yours. I like yours better. Okay.
So this will be our end of show post for today on this here Monday.
They teach you this in journalism school, which neither of us went to, by the way.
I'm sure they didn't know that. The most Cincinnati thing. What is the most Cincinnati thing? We talked Chili Week. We talked how we elect a sausage queen for Bachfest. And it doesn't just have to be like the downtown Cincinnati area. If you're in northern Kentucky somewhere, if you're in southeastern Indiana, what is the thing that best sort of describes your region, your area, the place where you live? It'll be end of show post. Go to the ARC Cincinnati with Bob and Jen Facebook page. Jump on there. I'm going to make it this multi-color sensation. Go there right now. It is officially.
What would yours be?
Posted.
Would yours be like Harvest Home? Because that's kind of your side of
something that area. Maybe Geta. Maybe you know. But it could be a food. It could be a festival. It could be a place you go. A thing you do.
And maybe if you leave town, like what's the thing that you come back and do you miss, so that's a good way to think of it.
That is a great way. You know when I come down to Cutting Hill?
Oh, and
I
you see
know I'm home, baby.
Island. Oh,
I know I'm
so
home.
Beautiful.
Imagine your home with beautiful new windows from Windows Direct USA. Imagine lower energy bills. Imagine increased home value. Check our reviews and visit us at
WindowsDirectUSA.com. If you thought the best President's Day deals have come and gone, think again. For one more weekend at Big Sandy, start with up to 20% off comparable market prices. Plus, get up to an additional 10 to 15% off furniture. Save $350 on a Grey Queen upholstered bed, now $899. Power reclining sofa and power reclining console love seat, now just $19.99. Get the matching power recliner free and up to 5 years interest free at Big Sandy's Superstore.
We open them and pour them out. Hearts are important, and we at Cleveland Clinic put all of ours into treating the most complex heart cases.
The passion they had, the confidence, knowing they could fix me was second to none.
For every diagnosis, for every heart, for every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic. Call us at 833-523 care. TriHealth Heart and Vascular Institute is now an affiliate of Cleveland Clinic's Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute.
The law offices of Blake Maceland will fight for you. Call 444-4444. Want more fight? More attention? More compensation? We've recovered millions in auto and injury cases. We don't know what your case is worth until you call. One more call for 444-4444. Call Blake Maceland.
Beat this. Right now, Bass Direct USA has 60% off installation and payments as low as $99 a month. Visit us at
BassDirectUSA.com.
Good morning. I'm Jen Dalton.
I'm Aaliyah Hodges.
I'm meteorologist Tara Blake.
And I'm Bob Herzog. Thank you for joining us on ARC Cincinnati now at 9. Sheila has the day off. Let's get right to the talk of the table.
Okay, let's talk about mating. Ooh.
What happened?
No, coyote mating.
So
the
we got to show
season
here.
the coyote mating season